Ellen McCauley, everyone! Woohoo! I'm at Piano in Syracuse, New York. And as I've mentioned every week since the beginning of session 30, we are talking about change. And it is so hard for so many of us to permanently change. We can change very easily for 5 minutes. I ate healthy last night. Why didn't I lose weight? You know? But for permanent change, therein lies the rub. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, would you ever give up creamer in your coffee? I would have said to you, the day I give up creamer in my coffee is the day I stop drinking coffee. And then I realized I was drinking a pound's worth, which is 3,500 calories worth of creamer, even though it was fat-free, a week. My coffee was white. And so I switched to black coffee, and guess what? Love it. Love it. So you can change. So last week, we talked about goals. And I'm really proud of your action plans, but now we need to believe in ourselves. And one of the big things to get us to believe in ourselves is to control our thoughts. Many of us, have faulty thinking. We go down a slippery slope. I've always lost weight. I've always gained it back. I will never, ever, ever get to my goal weight. That's what we tell ourselves. That's what we tell ourselves. So we need to, let's just take a short goal. Let's look at October 26th. That's 2 weeks. Everyone should hand in 2 logs. Bob and I are on vacation. We're still doing our logs. Yes, you are, Bob. It's tough being married to me, let me tell you. We are doing our logs. We are also going to, one of the things that's really helped me is you're accountable to me, and I was accountable to me, but it's better for me now to be accountable to the registered dietitian. And she just went on and on and on with praise. And guess what? I walked out of there like this. I'm doing good. I got a great star report, you know. So we have to have a goal for October 26th, 1 to 2 pounds, which is so realistic. So realistic. So the faulty thinking, and there's so many names for it, you know. We think we are out of control with our eating, but guess what? We can control it. We can control, we're the only ones. No one's force feeding us. No one is putting the food in our mouths. We can control it. And we also label ourselves. You know, we say, I'm a fat failure, I was fat in high school, I was a fat bride, I'm going to get an extra wide coffin. You know, we just go down that road. But we need to stop that. We need to say, hey, I used to weigh 371. I'm never going to weigh in the 300s again. I'm never going to weigh over 250 again. I'm never going to ever get to that point. And we need to be more positive. And then so many people quit before they even start. Just the mere thought of change is enough to send people running. At least 3 people said tonight that they wanted to just curl up on their couch with a good book and not come tonight. And guess what? I love Pray It Off and I would never miss it. But I got up real early today, I rode the bike, I did weights, and then I went and substitute taught at a middle school. And I had a resource class, and these are kids who are delayed in reading, delayed in math, and 5 or 6 in a group each class. It was so stimulating, it was so fascinating, it was so interesting, but I had to be on my toes. Mm-hmm. You know, you had to be like this, and there's these old buildings, they didn't just make a little set of stairs. You go up, you go over, you go up, you go over. It was a workout just doing the different stairs. But there's a part of you that goes, like the other night, that Hope Not Nope started at 7. And Bob's like, why don't they just start it at midnight? 7? Why couldn't they start it at 6? Oh my God. gosh, oh, it's late, you know. The older, like when people used to make fun of people when they'd go to dinner between 4 and 5, right? And now we're like, eating at 6 o'clock, that's late, you know. So we need to not quit before we get to the starting line. We need to be more positive. And then we also, I learned in college the phrase self-fulfilling prophecy, and I fell in love with it. I thought it was the best phrase ever. You say to yourself, I am going to marry the best guy in the world, and he is going to be the most wonderful guy, and we're going to be so happy. And when we're in our 60s, we're going to go on cruises, and people are just going to be like, whoa, you guys are so happy. Self-fulfilling prophecy. I knew I was going to have a good husband. God gave me a good husband. But when it gets to my weight, I'm like, self-fulfilling prophecy, I want to get to my goal weight. And on a sheet of paper, for my height, my goal weight's supposed to be 146. Wow. Yeah, right. You know, yeah. So I said, they really, and you know, they are changing BMIs, they're changing goal weights because they're just not realistic, okay? So they're changing what the obesity levels are because they're more looking at health. They're looking at what meds are you on? How's your blood pressure? My blood pressure yesterday, 110/70. Woohoo! You know, that's what's good. Okay, all or nothing thinking. 3 people did that this week. I had pizza on Friday, so I blew it. So I just ate whatever I wanted Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You figure you blew it. Well, yeah, maybe you had extra for one meal, but did you blow the whole thing? That's the all or nothing thinking. Catastrophizing, huge on that. I'm a huge catastrophizer. I'm so much better. You know, you go on a trip and you're like, what if the pipes break? And what if the alarm goes off? And what if? Just go and enjoy yourself, you know? Pipe dreaming. You know, that's so good. You sit there and you go, yeah, I'm going to eat whatever I want, but I'm still going to weigh 146, and it's just going to be great. And it's just going to be, I don't have to do any work. I love the commercials that say, you don't have to exercise. You don't have to diet. Take this pill and sleep on it, and you'll wake up and be 5 pounds less. They're out there. Ever see those commercials? All right. And gut level reasoning. We have to realize that all of our thoughts are not true. We give ourselves fake news. We say, you're a failure, Ellen. Maybe you're successful here, here, and here, but losing weight, You know, you go up, you go down, as we all said, all around. We tell ourselves this, but it's fake news because we can be successful. We can have permanent weight loss. I don't want to embarrass anybody in the room tonight, but there are people that have lost 50 pounds over 10 years ago, and they may be at minus 49, minus 51, minus 48, but they're always right around there. They're proof that you can do it. And then the whole thing about the poor me. And I even have a phrase for it. I work so hard. I try so hard. My life's so tough. I had this happen, that happen. We could all sit here and pour me to death, but how does it help in our weight loss journey if we eat to comfort ourselves? So we have to get rid of the automatic negative thoughts. When I said we're all going to dress up and look good on the 26th, there's a couple people out there like, ooh, that sounds like fun. And then there's more of you going out there, that's the worst idea ever. I don't want to do that. Where did she come up with this stuff? Did she just sit there at home and drive in her car and think of crap like this? Why can't we have an automatic positive thought? Instead of having always or never, I always join a weight loss group and I never can keep the weight off. I can look into the future and see myself fat. And you know what's interesting about mind reading? My adult children always say this to me. Well, I don't have to mention this to you, Mom, because I know what you're going to say. I know what you're going to say. They read I don't even have to talk to many people because they just know what I'm going to say. And I'm fascinated by that because many times I don't even know what I'm going to say, but they know. So this is where we have trouble. We try to read our own minds. And remember, it's bad in there. It's bad. We are not good with our own thoughts. We need to get away from ourselves. Nothing like helping others to get away from yourself. That's the best medicine there is. Also reacting rather than responding. I had a bad day. Ellen who? Pray it off what? Give me ice cream. We just react. And God, remember, we got to be thinking about Jesus. Also, we're many of us, and I'm getting better at this, stuck in the past. Shame, guilt, bad life, troubles with our family, etc. And then so many times we call ourselves names that we would never call anybody else. We would never call anyone else a fat loser. But how many times have we looked in the mirror and thought that about ourselves? And also we think we're in control of everything, and that's a lot of pressure. But then there's a lot of people who think they're in control of nothing, and that's just as bad. So the best is to be right here and say, I can't control the war in Israel, but I can pray about it. I can control my reaction to it because I can't watch TV for hours at a time because it sinks me down into a hole. And then I cry, and then I carry on, and I just think, why is this happening? I have to pray and give it to God. But then, as far as myself goes, I have complete control over what I eat and how I move. We cannot compare ourselves to anybody else. I really pushed hard, tried something completely different, 1,200 calorie diet, going to the gym multiple times a week, lifting weights. I never did those things. So what did I do to get minus 10 pounds? I changed. I mixed it up. I started, if something stalled, I started increasing fiber. I mean, I'm putting a half a cup of black beans on a salad. I'm putting a half a cup of black beans on tuna over sliced tomatoes. I feel, and you're going to love this, that I'm eating too much. I'm like, oh my gosh, all that food? I feel like it's so much food to get to 1,200 when you're eating so many vegetables that have no calories or 5 calories. And it's like, whoa, that's a lot of food, and it fills you up. And so the nutritionist says, are you hungry? No. Do you have cravings? No. I'm worried about getting in the 1,200 calories because there's so much food. Also, I'm going to stop right there, Bobby.